Go ahead and begin. Welcome, everybody. It's December 14th. My last meeting as chair is JEDO. It's been an honor and a pleasure. First item, please.
Item 2, roll call. Commissioner Mays.
Here.
Commissioner Cook.
Present.
Commissioner Rippon.
Here.
Mayor Padilla.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Duncan.
Here.
Councilmember Nager. Here. Councilmember Dobler.
Here.
Councilmember Hiller. Councilmember Valdivia Alcala. Councilmember Ortiz. Councilmember Emerson. Councilmember Kell. Councilmember Hofer. Action item 3A, approval of the September 14th, 2022 JEDO board meeting minutes.
Okay, so I assume everybody's read those minutes. We do have one correction that needs to be made. So I will make a motion that we amend the minutes. On page 4, there is an error. It says under the Forge presentation that there were 22 interns. There were actually 200. And it says there were 3 companies and there were actually 23 companies. So I'll make a motion that we amend it to reflect those changes.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Do we have to do a roll call vote on amendments?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote then.
Commissioners Mays,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Rippon,
Yes.
Mayor Padilla,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Duncan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, motion passes. I will now make a motion that we approve the minutes. Roll call vote, please. Oh, if there's a second.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by me, seconded by Commissioner Rippon.
Commissioners Mays,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Rippon,
Yes.
Mayor Padilla,
Yes.
and Deputy Mayor Duncan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next item, please.
Action item 3B, approval of Project Volt incentive agreement and announcement.
Okay, hello. So tonight, first on the agenda, we have Project Bolt. This is approval for the contract that's in the packet tonight. It is in the manufacturing industry, a company that's already in the Topeka and Shawnee County area, planning to invest in real property and increase their employment. The capital investment is $7 million with 44 new positions, and the average annual wage is $40,000 plus benefits. The economic impact over 10 years will be $156 million with the ROI of 322%. So we are excited to announce that Project Bolt is Torgerson Electric Company, and tonight we are requesting a motion for approval of the contract that is in the packet.
Great. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion's been made by Mayor Padilla, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioners Mays,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Rippon,
Yes.
Mayor Padilla,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Duncan.
Yes.
Motion
passes. Next item, action, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, we actually have the CFO here to say a few words, which is Eric Duncan from Torgerson. Come on up.
Hey, thank you for inviting us. Thank you for consideration of our project. On behalf of Torgerson Electric and our group of over 130 employee owners, we're excited about this project. We're excited to continue to have our roots firmly in the Topeka and Shawnee County area, and we're excited about creating the next generation of electrical employees, manufacturing, and really just continuing to create and promote Topeka and create new projects and jobs. And we appreciate everything you guys have done in this process, and, we look forward to continuing to help Topeka grow. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Real excited about it as well. All right, next item. Oh, and just real quick, we're going to take photos after we get through all these action items real quick, and then we'll go out and do photos.
Okay, so next item is action item 3C, approval of project pages, incentive agreement, and announcement.
Okay, so Project Pages is a new business attraction in wholesale distribution. They plan to come to Topeka and add 20 new positions with the average wage of $40,000 plus benefits. The economic impact over 10 years is $62 million with the ROI of 61%. So we would like to announce that Project Pages is One Source Magazine Distribution. They are a magazine wholesale distribution company headquartered in Denver, Colorado. They are proud to have a long-standing list of clients and operate in media, entertainment, and high-end grocers, including Whole Foods Market for over 25 years. And tonight we are asking for a motion of approval of that contract in your packet as well.
Questions or motion?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Mayor Padilla. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Mays?
Yes?
Cook?
Yes.
Rippon?
Yes.
Mayor Padilla?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And the company couldn't be with us tonight, but we did get a pre-recorded message from the owner, Tom Torbert.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Tarbert. I'm the president of One Source Distributing. And I'd like to say a few words in appreciation of this wonderful gesture of financial support for my company as we make our way to Topeka. I'd like to thank Go Topeka and the Joint Economic Development Organization for their interest in my company.
He has more to say.
Buffering.
Deep.
And for their meaningful financial contribution in support of our move to Topeka. We know Topeka is an excellent location for our business activities, both in terms of local infrastructure and business support. Geographically, we will also be ideally situated. Our team looks forward to engaging with the warm, intelligent, and industrious citizens of Topeka alongside our future employees in the area. So, again, thank you for this support. Have a great evening.
All right, great, thank you. Okay, next item, please.
Action item 3D, approval of project KOOL-AID incentive funding.
Okay, this is an existing business in manufacturing industry. This company actually originally submitted an application for small business incentives, but after the initial review, we sat down and talked with them and realized that it was really a better avenue for them to get the traditional incentives that we have and a better fit for the company overall. So the capital investment is $2.1 million. They plan to add 30 new jobs with an annual average wage of $48,000 plus benefits. The economic impact over 10 years is $175 million with the ROI of 117. Tonight we're requesting incentive funding approval for the memo that is included in the packet.
Any questions?
None.
Okay, I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Mayor Padilla. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Mays?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Rippon?
Yes.
Mayor Padilla?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right,
Great.
fantastic.
Thanks. I'm going to pause now. I'm
Okay.
going to take a photo.
Yes, well, let's all head out to the hallway and take some photos real quick. We're just going to stand at ease, though.
That sounds good. And then,
All right, next item, please.
Item 4, a presentation of the Go Topeka quarterly reports.
Okay, so we're going to change up the pace a little bit this evening. We have some special guests with us that are going to share their stories and their journey working with the team through small business incentives and some other programs that we have. So the team is all here for questions, but you have our quarterly report in your packet and you've received it previously, so we're happy to answer any questions, but we thought it would also be refreshing for you to hear from some folks other than our team. So Glenda has some guests she'll introduce, and then Lori has some after that, and I'll welcome them to the podium. Thank you.
Great.
Good evening, everybody. So a lot of times, it's better, I always say, you know, I can show you better than I can tell you. And so tonight I brought show and tell. And they'll talk a little bit about their business. I want you to hear from them how these programs and the funds that you provide has helped their business. So I'm going to invite Pedro up first, and then you guys come around, please. Take 30 seconds. Okay.
Hi, how are you doing? My name is Pedro Concepcion. I've just been honored, honestly, to helping Glenda, Washington with getting an outreach program for the Hispanic outreach. We started identifying that we really had to translate everything and reach out a lot of people, and we ended up helping out 3 mortar businesses that were launched this year. It was Rosie's Tamales, a Changato restaurant, Marlene's Linens, and Barbers, Top City Barbers. They all benefited from the programming that we kind of put forward, and with the help of Glenda, we made sure that they can reach incentives, they can learn about better business practices, and they can actually have a successful business moving forward. That's pretty much what I have to say. Thank you very much.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris White-Reddy. I'm the owner and operator of Laces LLC. We're a shoe and clothing boutique store on Southeast Topeka, 29th and Cunningham to be exact. I've been working closely with Glenda Washington and Go Topeka over the last month, helping with some funding, getting some signage and marketing and things like that to kind of, help new businesses get out there. They've been really helpful, really responsive in more ways than one. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you? I'm Nikisha Bryant. I'm currently in the Empowerment Center with Go Topeka, which they started an inflatable company, and I'm also in a child care company. Go Topeka has provided a lot of stuff for us to start out, and a great workspace for us to work in. So we
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Hi, I am Lamona with Chef Lamona. I am a chef. I own a food truck and I do catering. I am starting my journey with Go Topeka. They're helping me because I have the best gumbo. We're trying to get it in the stores and stuff. So Go Topeka has been, or they're starting to be a great help to me, and I'm getting used to everybody and everything like that. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I've seen you guys like a million times. How are you? Leslie Florence, 10-11 Care Pet Nursing Hotel. You know my story, but certainly Greater Topeka Partnership and especially Glenda Washington has been immensely helpful. And most recently, she had a pitch contest. I came in 4th. I won some cash that's going to go towards our pet outdoor play area that has just been approved by the city for space on the outside. So, we're short another bunch of money, but hopefully we'll find some more. And I think Greater Topeka Partnership and Glenda have been just a huge, huge help to all the small businesses here in Topeka.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rodney Harmon. Many of you might know me already outside of this, but I've been working with Glenda on several years, probably prior to the pandemic, on different businesses and stuff. But at the time, I currently own a advertising and marketing business called AdMark Agency LLC. I'm here today to talk about the 2nd annual Minority Pop-Up Shop and Business Showcase, which will be held December the 17th from 11 to 3 p.m. at the Hillcrest Community Center, which is 1800 Southeast 21st Street. And I hope to see everyone there, from people up here to the people in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Renee?
Out of breath, I just climbed all those stairs. Okay, so just
Introduce yourself, tell them about.
hello, everyone.
Hi.
Renee Anderson. I am owner of Healthy Hair and Skincare Salon here in Topeka. Been in business for many years, been a stylist for over 20 years. Worked with Miss Glenda and go to Topeka for many years also, since she's been here. Been a tremendous help to me personally and also to, me as a small business owner. I have taken advantage of programs that's been available to the small businesses, and they have also definitely helped me tremendously, and especially getting over humps with the economy and the way things are now. Let's see. Yeah. They've been a tremendous help. I've been and Go Topeka's great, and they're obviously great for our community as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Renee.
Thank you.
Thank you. I told you I could show you better than I could tell you. So I'm really happy to have you at heard these entrepreneurs. This is just a fraction of the people that we've helped through Go Topeka, but I think that if you get their drift, they really do appreciate what you've done. The funds that you've provided for them, the services, all of that. So just want you all to know and just share that. That's all I have for today.
All right.
Any questions from anyone? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. And now my turn for show and tell. I would like to introduce Tobias Harvey, who is the founder of Create Uplift, an advertising agency here in Topeka.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Lori. So my business, Create Uplift, is an advertising firm here in Topeka that I started nearly 10 years ago. And in December of 2019, our business received one of the equipment incentive funds from Glenda, Washington. And back then, the business actually had 0 employees, technically. And $5,000 at the time seemed like a lot of money then. But if you fast forward to today, my business now employs 5 full-time employees with an average salary of $42,000. And next year, we're looking to expand into Emporia and Wyandotte County also. So I guess if I rewind back to 2019, receiving that $5,000 really helped propel my business, helping us purchase equipment that was much needed. And now looking where we're at, I think it's proof that the Small Business Incentive Program really works if we give it to people who are willing to stay the course. And I've been connected to Go Topeka ever since then. And now, as Lori said, I'm the incoming chairman for the Small Business Council. So I'm really happy to represent the Small Business Council, to represent Go Topeka, and to represent all of the wonderful businesses that you've just heard from before. So thank you so much for letting me speak tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have to say it like before.
Aaron, if we could have the university engagement. Okay, and now I just want to take a couple of moments to give you a report on our university engagement strategy. In November, we signed a partnership agreement with Washburn University to create entrepreneurship support resources. This is something that we're really excited to be more intentional about our engagement with the students and faculty to create more student retention and attraction through entrepreneurship, getting students and faculty to stay here in the community and get more engaged in the community. We did just find out yesterday that we've been approved for a grant to support a social entrepreneurship community engagement project together with Washburn University. We're also going to be involving the Topeka Community Foundation, Omni Circle Group, the Washburn SBDC. So it's really going to be a nice group of partners that are working together on this project to get Washburn students and faculty and staff engaged in social entrepreneurship in the community. We've got additional projects that we're working on, but that was one that I was excited to tell you about because we just found out that we got that networked grant. And then we also are going to be announcing in January our partnership agreement with Kansas State University, which is something that we've been working on for a while and are quite excited about. I'd like to ask you to watch for your invitation that's going to be coming from President Linton to attend the event on January 17th, where we're going to be announcing our partnership with Kansas State University, and we're going to be engaging in a 2-year pilot program under the K-State 105 project to demonstrate the way in which the university can be involved in economic impact in a rural, in an urban setting. The other projects that they're working on are rural, but we're going to be doing the urban project together with Kansas State University. So hopefully you're going to be able to attend that announcement and look for the exciting things that are going to happen over the next couple of years under that partnership.
Great, thank you.
All right, well, that was fun.
I like your new format.
Okay, that concludes our quarterly report, but like I said, if there are any questions about the printed report that's in your packet or anything else that the team can stand for, we're happy to do that.
Well, I appreciate the show and tell. I learned a long time ago in kindergarten, there is no tell, it's show and tell. So thank you. It's really nice to have a face with the success stories, and that makes it a lot more special. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item, please.
Action item 5E, approval of the 2021 JEDO audit report.
Hi, my name is Dana Spleakall. I'm a CPA with SSC CPAs here in town, and I believe you have the audit report that we wrapped up in October, and just here tonight to answer any questions that you might have and to talk through our process a little bit. We received the information and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get into the right page in my report. So you have two packets, or you should have one with the financial statements and one with the report to the board. And in there is a letter. Is that okay? That talks about our process. So we audit the financial statements. We confirm as much as we can. We look at as much information as we can that's available and work with the team between the county and the city to be assured that the information presented is materially correct. In the process, we didn't have any disagreements with the team that we worked with. We didn't have any significant difficulties in issuing our audit report, and we did have one finding for improvement, and that is included in your financial statement packet. And the staff was able to address it and responded to it to where we were comfortable moving forward and issuing the report. So any questions, any comments or?
Questions or comments?
Okay.
All right. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is good. It is.
Well, thank you. I will go ahead and make a motion that we approve the audit report.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioners Mays,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Rippon,
Yes.
Mayor Padilla,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Duncan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you for your time tonight. I
Thank you, I appreciate your time that you put into this. Next item, please.
Action item 5F, approval of the 2023 Go Topeka budget and business plan.
Hello, you've met me briefly when I presented the audit report for Go Topeka back in May, but for just as a reminder, I'm Josh Patterson. I'm the SVP of Finance for the partnership. I do the financials for Go Topeka as well as the rest of the members of the organization. We want to present the 2023 budget for approval. I appreciate those of you who took the time to meet with us one-on-one. I appreciated those deep dives, getting to answer some questions and identify some areas where we need to make sure we cover those in this presentation so that everyone's well informed. So I'm going to start things off with some of the high-level information about payroll, administration, shared costs, those kind of things that permeate the entire Go Topeka budget. They're not specific to one department. So we've got a 2% increase in salaries and benefits over 2022. That is consistent with our organization's goals as far as total increase we wanted to target for cost of living adjustments and those kind of things. On the admin, finance, HR, and marketing, Go Topeka purchases those services from the partnership. So we have dedicated departments that manage those services for all of our organizations. And we've got an 11% increase over 2022. That's mainly due to the administration and marketing departments. Those are, both of them can be attributed to updated allocations of staff, but specifically the marketing one was due to an increased focus on translation support, specifically for Spanish language materials. And then on the shared cost side, these are things like rent, utilities, shared software across the organization, those kind of things. We've got a 6% increase. One of the big drivers there was just an increase in our rent for the offices. We've got a couple of those built in once every 2 years in our lease. So one of those is coming up next year. And then Molly's going to go over the department budgets, and then I'll wrap things back up with some of the other general expenses that Go Topeka specifically has instead of these ones that are allocated or shared across the partnership.
Thanks, Josh. Okay, so first department that we'll touch on is a combination of new business attraction and the existing business retention and expansion all in one column there for you. 14.4% increase over 2022, and this excludes the incentives. This is just our programming budget. So some of the major components are listed there for you. Some of the new things or where the increases are seen is technology assets for site visits and visualization. So a trend in economic development has really been heightened throughout the pandemic of being able to do a lot more of those site visit interactions virtually, and so being able to give the experience of a site visit through a computer or through a VR program or something like that is something that we're working toward. Continuing the aviation strategy partnership is also a major component there. Another increase that happens in the retention and expansion department budget is the third-party incentive audits. So as you approve incentives, then we contract with someone external to go in and make sure that the company is performing to the level that they need to be receiving those incentives. So as we incentivize more companies, that in turn means that we've got more professional services to go into that budget. Next area of focus is innovation, entrepreneurship, and small business. So all those activities are combined in one column for you. There's a 3.8% decrease over 2022, and this again excludes that small business incentives. Those are at the bottom of your worksheet, but we're talking about programming here. So some major components are listed there, some things that we've carried forward and some things that started midway through last year and then are ramping up to full speed, like the Propeller Mentoring Program mentioned below. Small Business Awards is really kind of the root of our first touch with Project KOOL-AID, as Ashley mentioned. So that's always a successful program, and we will continue to work forward. Generating leads and awareness around the resources that we have, not only with incentives, but with counseling and help to guide those businesses to success. And then support for the Washburn Small Business Development Center as well. Sometimes there are clients that walk in our door that are better served down on the 5th floor with the Small Business Development Center. So a strong partnership with them and being able to be housed with them in one location makes it easier for clients as they come in. Minority and Women Business Development / redevelopment. So this is a little different within the interlocal language. The language talks about revitalization of derelict properties and underutilized properties. And we had talked last year going into 2022 about the creation of a new department and addition of headcount around that activity. We hired a person, and she quickly was stolen away to lead downtown Topeka. But also within that time frame, within our community, a new position was created at the city that we are hoping will help solve some of the need throughout the community for focusing on redevelopment. So we do have a dedicated staff in the budget for 2023 to focus on redevelopment, but that doesn't hit the budget until after first quarter because we really want to be careful and work hand in hand with the city to see if we really need that person at the GTP office as well, now that Rhiannon is over at the city under Steve's direction. Minority and Women Business Development, there are some programs there that you recognize. One of the new ones is the Athena program, and that's focused around women in business. It's a national program that we are going to start up here and actually launched last week, I believe it was. So redevelopment also, we do have programming budget in the budget that will remain whether we have a headcount focused on that activity, because there still is a need for spurring that redevelopment and understanding where the gaps are to help developers want to attack problem areas that will be catalytic for our community, like White Lakes and Deer Creek Shopping Center and other places like that. Talent Initiatives has a 2.4% increase over 2022. Again, there are a lot of components in here that are things that are working well that we're carrying forward. One of the items in this first section in a program event costs is housing and childcare task forces. That's a major component of Momentum 2027 and has been kind of an upstream conversation when you're talking about workforce development. People need workers at their facilities, and those workers need childcare. And we just heard numbers earlier this week about 6,000, a deficit of 6,000 seats for childcare. So it really does become an economic development issue, and we will continue to talk about those issues and convene the folks around the table. We're not the childcare experts, but we do understand that it's an issue for economic development. Other components within this area of the budget, as we've done in the past, supporting Forge, Junior Achievement Discovery Kindergarten Program, which kind of gets to the cradle through career side of Momentum 2027, and Washburn's Leadership Institute. Also, the continuation of scholarships for high demand programs at Washburn Tech and Washburn Tech East, which is something that you all have done for a few years now. That's all I have for department, and I'll pass it back over to Josh, and then we'll both be here for questions if you have those.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so these last few things are general and admin, but they are specific to Go Topeka, as opposed to previous stuff was things that are shared across the partnership as a whole. So we've got a small decrease over 2022, relatively flat. We've got some software in there for economic analysis and the Salesforce CRM that Go Topeka is moving into. And then we've got some website improvements planned, enhancements, additional content, those kind of things. The website is relatively new, but there's always need for more content there. And then we've got some PR services and organizational dues, some of those companies that represent economic development organizations. All right, and then the last column in that budget is special initiatives. That is flat over last year as well. It's large. That's mainly because of the Innovation Center. We budgeted for that to be in 2022. Construction hasn't started on it yet. We anticipate it to start next year, so we've pushed that forward into the 2023 budget, which means we'll end 2022 well under what we budgeted for total expense for the year. And then the other big component in there is Choose Topeka and the incentives that have been committed but haven't been earned or paid out yet. So we've got some money in there for 2023, but no new money. It's all just paying out those previously approved funds. I think that covers it. Oh, I got a summary. Okay, Total ongoing programming, so if you take out incentives, we're flat versus 2022. The slide says a small increase. That's actually a typo. We are basically flat to 2022. And then we've got committed incentives. There's a committed incentives sheet in the budget document. We are sitting at 7.5 million, which is up from 7 million in 2022. And then our total budget, total use of JEDO funds for 2023 would be 11.2 million, which means we would be using 6.2 million of carry forward funds, which after we're done discussing budget will be the next item. So any questions for me or Molly?
Any questions?
All right, I have a small business incentive question. I don't know who gets to answer that one. I will ask this through my lens as a member of your small business council. I guess of the 3 incentive programs, the only one that doesn't get an increase is the small business incentive. And then the second part of that is if you look at total expenses before incentives, it's the largest percentage-wise of the total dollars. So it's $300,000, it's $247,000 plus in expenses, which leaves 50-some thousand. Percentage-wise on the other 2, expenses are much lower overall to what leaves it for the large pot. So maybe it's not a question, I guess it's a disappointment that it's not only the smallest pot for small businesses, but then also the smallest percentage left of those once those expenses are paid. So I guess my only comment would be is we got to figure out how to do that better, considering that the majority of our businesses are small businesses. All the people we heard from tonight were small businesses, and so obviously, being on the Small Business Council, I feel is my responsibility to point those things out when I can. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, thank you for your comment. Actually, that's a great segue for something that we had planned to talk about in February. So we'll talk to each of you individually about the allocation that we've had for small business incentives in the past. I think we didn't want to jump too soon to increase that. It's been $300,000 for a couple of years now, but we had promised you going into 2022 that we would take more of a portfolio approach and look at the types of companies that are being incentivized and try to get a greater return on the investment and encourage more primary jobs to be created, and that really has rang true, and we haven't even really advertised the program as much. So we will be having that conversation in February, but we weren't ready to make that ask in the budget. It will be a special ask later on. So we're in line with what your comments were.
Thank you.
Yep.
I guess we'll just have to look forward to that. Any other questions? So we do have one member of the public signed up to speak, Lazone.
Good evening, members of the Joint Economic Development Organization, JEDO. Kudos to everything that has been said. I'm not here to be a disappointment to anyone. But the reason that I'm speaking is because I've been trying to get to a JEDO meeting for a while here, and things just haven't been out, sick or whatever. But I shared in attachment. It was one of the statistics that was shared with you from your contractor on the workforce talent issue. I'm sure, hope that you all got that and could review it. On the bottom, it had the unemployment rate, and this was from the quarterly data of the 2021 of last year. And it had the unemployment rate, well, 3.6 in Topeka and 3.2 in Shawnee County. And at that time, actually before this was presented to you, the city had did its housing study and found that the unemployment of the Black Topeka was 10.1%. Now, if you just come here and you're just given 3.6% and not given the rest of the story, now I think that takes away some of the perspective of some things that some people really should know, understand, and hopefully try to look at and try to put some resolve to it. The same within that report of 2021 for the poverty is that the poverty for Shawnee County was 9.8%. When also at that same time, Black poverty in Topeka, Shawnee County, was 24 to 25%. Now, if you're just, and I provided the statistics and the data from the Department of Labor for you for that, to back that up. I think that both the researcher who compiled the information for this report here is on spot. They gave you the numbers. The employee for the city was on spot, and they gave you the numbers that they had found during their housing study. There's a difference between 3.6 and 10.1, and there's a difference between 9% and 24%. But if you're not given that information, it's easy to walk away and think that everything is great and everything is fine. And maybe for you all and others it is. But I find that sort of troubling because that disparity in unemployment and poverty is not anything new. It has been something that has been sustaining over years. That's why I keep bringing these statistics up year after year to the city. And so I would hope that in order to make an informed decision, that you would request all of the information. And not that that sounds good, make you feel good, so that we don't have to, or the people who are listening and working with these populations that don't have the greatest cheerleaders in, downtown and in these rooms here, that at least you would know that there are some things to be addressed and concerned, especially in this era of equity, and that you could maybe get with somebody to figure out why are these numbers so persistent in being disparate? What can be done? Who do we need to be talking to try to get some of these things done? I don't believe that it can't be taken care of, but I don't believe that also, I also don't believe that if you're only getting the information and the numbers that sound good, make you feel good, that anybody is ever going to care about these numbers. So when I come to speak to them, I sound like I'm a crazy guy, but I'm not. I want to make sure that everybody and the funds that are made available are being used in a way that can actually move the needle forward. So that's all I wanted to share. Maybe, whether it's at the end of the year or some point, that you're given all of the unemployment and the poverty information, so that then we can sort of check and see what needs to be done in what specific area. Thank you.
Thank you, Lozone. Thank you, Lozone. I think we know you well enough to know you're not a crazy guy, by the way. So I don't have anybody else signed up for public comment. Any questions, comments? Good. All right. Well, we will need to approve the budget or make amendments if there's amendments. Any motions?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we've got a motion by Mayor Padilla, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those, I guess we'll do a roll call vote.
Commissioners Mays,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Rippon,
Yes.
Mayor Padilla,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Duncan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next item, please.
Action item 5G, approval of the 2022-2023 cash carry forward agreement.
Hello again. All right, so we are requesting a cash carry forward amount of $15,600,000. That is based on our projection where we're going to end 2022. This slide shows that $15.6 million and how it is currently planned to be spent. So as I mentioned in the budget presentation, we are budgeting to spend $6.2 million above the normal $5 million in 2023. So that would be a use of 6.2 out of the carry forward. We've got a portion of that that's restricted for MWBD programming. And that will continue to be restricted, so that is not available for general use. And then we've got on the committed incentive schedule, there's $4.4 million of committed incentives beyond 23. So the 23 numbers are in the budget, but 24 and beyond, there's an additional $4.4 million. And then we've also got, as part of the Innovation Campus, after construction is over, there's some money designated to help support that. With programming or operational support, whatever the case may be. But there's another almost $900,000 that's going to be left over after construction is done. So that leaves us with about $2.9 million of unencumbered out of that 15.6 that we are requesting to carry forward. Anything you want to add to that?
Just one point of clarification that the request is just the amount to carry forward the 15.6. This explanation is just for context for you all. So when you're making a motion to approve, it's just that top number that you're approving. The rest of these items either have standalone prior approvals or are part of the budget or something. So your motion will just be for that one amount.
Questions? Comments? All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the cash carry forward agreement.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Mays?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Rippon?
Yes.
Mayor Padilla?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next item, please.
Item 6, public comment.
We do have one member of the public signed up to speak, Mr. Lazo Graves, for an encore.
Good evening again. If you have the handouts that I had sent through the attachments, thank you. Just kidding. The first thing I did was gather the information on the definitions by the SBA of a small business, a micro business, disadvantaged, and economically disadvantaged. And the reason is because a lot of conversation is going on, and the code words are small, women, minority. The next page, which comes from your JEDO, your interlocal agreement, it provides your definition of economic development, and nowhere in there do you find the word small, women, or minority business. On this next page, which I call the equity clause, because actually, I remember the night when Clark Duffy was sitting there and I'd gotten him to make the motion that that percentage of this sales tax would be used for a target population. It was seconded, and here we are. So all the people who have been benefiting and the people who have been holding that position, it all started at some point. I think Clark Duffy should be given definitely some kudos because that money would not have been available then. And that's why the wording was so important, because not all small business owners are economically disadvantaged, the same with women and minority business owners. That's why you won't find small, women, minority in this equity clause. It is cut into a corner of the socially and economically disadvantaged. That's your legal agreement. Speak with your legal counsel. I don't think that, and I did share from the SBA their definition of a microenterprise. You have heard numerous times of the definition of the SBA for small business. And part of that there that I shared, that I compiled, said that most business owners consider themselves small business, when in reality they should identify as micro business for proper growth and resource allocations. The type of business support that is needed by a socially economically disadvantaged business is not going to be the same as a small business, 99 employees doing $5 or $6 million worth of business. A micro business, some have 7 employees and are doing numerous multi-millions dollars worth of business. Their owners are not eligible or not economically disadvantaged. So I really just want to try to, because I advocated for these monies and had the word being, try to get it framed, youth employment, workforce training and expansion, economically and socially disadvantaged. I would like to make sure that that the JEDO within, because that's a part of your agreement, that you hold those tenets to truth. The economic, most of the businesses that we're talking about, they're going to be small. They're going to be micro business under 9 or 10 employees. Probably they're going to be economically or socially disadvantaged, but not all of them will be economically disadvantaged. And so I come across some entrepreneurs who are socially and economically disadvantaged, who don't know where to go, and then when they get somewhere, then I think that they're getting drowned out by the small micro business. And so I think that there's some new things that needs to be done for this target population, socially and economically disadvantaged business owners and individuals, because it's not all about business. It is those other items, workforce training and youth employment. And I hope that I could speak with someone to see what better can be done.
Chair, that's 4 minutes.
Excuse me?
Do we have a rule at JEDO that we have to limit it? I mean, do we have to vote to extend time? Because
Yes, there is an operational rule that limits public comment to 4 minutes. You may vote to extend.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we extend for another, I don't know how much, another 4 minutes, good, or?
2 minutes is fine.
All right, let's go 3.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioners Mays,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Rippon,
Yes.
Padilla,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Duncan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Final page is, I took a page out of the city of Topeka when they were putting together their small business grant program, because it really reflected its business, and this body for economic development is not just business, but to use this as a snapshot for business. There were LMI persons. For economically disadvantaged, there are, and you can read from the sheet that I prepared over at your leisure, that these are individuals who are going to have incomes that are below poverty levels. They're probably going to be eligible for some type of public service or assistance. There are entities and people who could help bring these people to the forefront and get them off into the programs. And even when it comes to some of those other areas of economic development that have been added to the definition, like youth employment. One of them, students who come from a family with an annual income below the level based on low income thresholds established by the U.S. Census Bureau, gobbledygook, those are the individuals who would be qualified as economically disadvantaged. Some of the businesses that you have given your larger incentives to, they would qualify as a small business, under 99 or however many employees, under so many millions of dollars. Those are bankable businesses. A wealthier business owner who has a micro business, those are bankable business. One of the reasons we want to cut this small 10% from this sales tax for this target population of socially economic businesses and individuals is to make sure that they had access to the very funds that they pay sales tax into too. Sales tax isn't just paid by the wealthy, the affluent, it's paid by the poor guy who's going to the convenience store as well, who wants to get into a training program, or may want to start a business, but don't know where to go. They are truly economically disadvantaged individuals. And so I don't want to have to come here and address this issue or speak to this again. I think that there's other things that can be done, and the more I just keep hearing about diversity, equity, inclusion, small women and minority, and here's a population that nobody ever even says socially and economically disadvantaged, which is exactly who the monies are dedicated for, then I got to get up, put on some clothes, and walk in the cold and come in here while I'm sick and talk to y'all. And I'm sort of sick of doing that. So thank you for the extra time, Chairman Mays and members of the JEDO. I hope this was enlightening to you, and I would like to speak with one of you to see if there's any way of looking at this further.
All right.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right. Well, Zone was the only person signed up. Is there anyone else from the public wishing to speak? All right. So, next item would be a reminder of our next meeting, which is Wednesday, February 8th. Mayor Padilla will be in charge that night, I believe. So everybody's looking forward to that. With no other business before us, we're adjourned.
I hear you, Spencer.
The enthusiasm was overwhelming.